not move to Germany in January or February. She was in the hospital like as soon as she came here.
It's fear of the unknown, for sure.
Hello and welcome back to Life in Germany. If you've not met me before, my name is Jenna. I'm a Canadian who's been living here in Germany since 2014. And this is my mama from Canada who has been here for 3 months visiting. I've calculated the amount of time that she's been here and she's actually spent more than a year in Germany.
Das ist gut.
Das ist gut. Und sie kann auch sehr gut Deutsch sprechen. Sie lernt auch Stück für Stück mit meinem Sohn. We have talked about the good. We have talked about the things that my mom would love to bring to Canada with her. And the reason we say bring to Canada with her and not reasons why she wants to move here is because this video is about how I think we have finally reached our end point where I realize I have been pushing for so long, for so many years, and things really took a turn on this trip. I think you had a good trip here.
Yes.
But I think some things were made more aware on this trip. You can blame it on aging all you want, but I think there are a couple things that we want to dive into today and tell you why we weren't able to convince you.
I think one of the main things is fear, and it's the language. I'm getting older, and it's scary enough getting older and having to think, oh, maybe I have to go to the hospital, maybe I have to find a doctor, and if they don't understand me,
they will understand what you're saying, though.
I know. But anyways, that's scary. That's scary to do. And as well, I mean, I do have family over in Canada, family and friends that I feel like I would be leaving, you know, as well. So,
but I left for love, which is different for building my new life, I guess.
And it's exciting and it's a beautiful country and it's fear. It's fear of the unknown, for sure.
Which is okay. I think everybody fears the unknown and definitely in that stage of life. However, let's be real, Mom. There are other things that have been bothering you on this trip. Let's talk about maybe just the example of you walking by the Rhine the other day.
It was your snowstorm that you had, and the snow was all over the pathway walking down to the Rhine. So there was only a small walking area in the middle. And I'm walking down and there's these 2 women standing right in the middle of the pathway. As I'm walking down, and there were several other people too, they didn't move. So I had to step off the path into the snow and make my way around them. And then I walked quite a fair ways, and I guess they were having a very good conversation. And walking back, they were still standing there, and they still refused to move. They were taking up the whole path, so you had to go out of your way to get around them. So I walked within an inch of her. I just thought it was rude. They don't acknowledge you, even on the sidewalks. Excuse me, pardon me, sorry, you know, and which is very Canadian. They don't move. They just stand there.
Cultural differences, though. As I said before to her many, many times, they didn't move because you didn't ask them to move. In Canada, you expect people to move out of your way because we are very conscious. We're much more aware of our surroundings. Yes. Whereas in Germany, you really have to make it known, I'm here, I expect you to move. Can you move? Yeah. You don't have to be rude about it.
It's just polite to move out of somebody's way.
But the definition of polite is different in Germany as it is in Canada. We've been having this exact same discussion over on Instagram over the last week or so because of our experience with the gym instructor, where we were just left in the cold and nobody was at the sports hall where we were waiting for our very first class because she forgot to inform us. And then when I talked to her about it, there was no apology. Some people said, no, that's just rude. And many people said, that's very German.
Well, in Canada, what do we say all the time?
Sorry.
Sorry. All the time we say sorry. And another thing is I would normally say excuse me, but here I don't know how to say it in German. So
you could say it in English.
They were completely out of touch with whoever was around them.
I think just in general too, like, I don't know why, but I've mentioned it before in many videos that people are just like in this funk this season. That's been reflected then I think in the responses that you've received. We've talked also a lot about like mental health here. Even when we're trying to talk to my husband, he just like doesn't want to talk about it.
Nobody does.
It's very taboo. My mom is here and she's gonna vouch for me too. It is okay to seek help when you need it. I've also mentioned in previous videos before that I've been spending the last few months opening up about my experiences and talking about how you can reach out to other people when you need support. You can also reach out to licensed therapists, for example. Our sponsor actually for this video is BetterHelp. This is one of the platforms that I personally love and that I've tried to get many of my family members in Canada hooked up to as well, because they do have licensed therapists and it is really easy to get set up with a therapist who is specialized for your particular needs. For example, you might have ADHD, as we've been talking about like crazy lately. You might have just broken up with your significant other or dealing with a loss. You know, there are specialized therapists in each one of these areas that can help you out. Getting started is actually really, really easy. They have an online questionnaire that you fill out. It takes little to no time. Once you're done this questionnaire, they are then able, usually within 48 hours, to connect you to a therapist who is right for you. And what I like best is that it's really easy to actually switch therapists. So if you meet your first therapist and say, no, we are not vibing at all, I don't want to do this, you can switch. No additional fee, you switch right away. You can write to them, you can call to them, you can have a video chat with them, whatever you're feeling, because I know when you're in a funk, sometimes you just don't want to talk.
And I mean, you say in a funk, but there are ADHD, depression. Some people are so low and it does have a stigma attached to it. To a lot of people, it's embarrassing to actually say, I have this or I have that, or this is how I'm feeling now. Yeah. And people don't want to listen. They will end it right there, the conversation. But it's okay. And I think the stigma is they're starting to come out with more positive stuff now on commercials and television.
Yeah, especially
and
in
stuff like
Canada.
that. But yeah, don't be afraid, that's for sure.
You don't have to label it anything if you don't want. You don't have to say, I have depression or I have anxiety or whatever, just to get the support that you need. And if you would like, you can also head on over to betterhelp.com/lifeingermany. And with this link, you can also get 10% off your first month. They won't judge you. They will open up. They will understand what you're going through and they can really help you. But let's continue on our journey of things that my mom has struggled with on this trip that have convinced me that she's probably no longer going to move here.
Another thing that was bothering me was when you're in line and say another cashier opens or something, they will literally dive in front of you to get there first. Not saying, oh, excuse me, can I go first? Or, oh, sorry about that. No, there's nothing. It's just
the be all end all, the German race to the next cashier that opens up.
And they'll knock you over.
Yeah, that's true. Although there is one really cute thing that Germans do when they have so much groceries, they look behind them. And if you only have one or two, they'll say, would you like to go ahead of me?
Yes.
This is very German.
I have seen that before too, which is nice. The weather has affected me a little bit this time. It is a little damp here and I'm just starting to get arthritis now. And man, do I feel it.
Anybody else have arthritis? Like, what do you do in Germany? How do you battle this cold weather?
The toes and fingers are definitely feeling it this year.
In Canada, I guess we have it a little bit more dry, but apparently it's wetter here because her arthritis, man, has it taken us through a loop. We were in the hospital. Did we tell you that? She was in the hospital like as soon as she came here. She has arthritis in her knees. She could barely even walk. I've warned her not to come to Germany in February, so if you're thinking of moving to Germany, please do not move to Germany in January or February. March is a good year.
And if you're here, light your fire and snuggle up on the couch with lots of blankets.
There was a lot of illnesses going around in this house. Bronchitis, whooping cough, norovirus, hospital visits. Now her rib cage is acting up because Germany. I don't know, man. Like, I think it was a mixture of...
But I've still had a great time. I've still done lots of things. To take a little vacation and...
But I don't want it to be a vacation. I wanted it to be a permanent thing.
But I do love the little cute apartments here that overlook the road and, you know, you walk around all the time nice and close to everything and go get your buns across the street.
So I guess biggest issue is really fear of the unknown, which I wish I could say, you know, just push yourself, get out there. But
I just find I'm not learning as fast as I used to. And I used to come and walk everywhere and know my way back and take a bus and know where I was headed. And now I'm kind of getting lost everywhere and it's a little bit scary, a little bit frustrating sometimes.
I think when she originally first started coming here, she really loved exploring the bus system, but yeah. I get it, like, it gets harder, it gets tougher. She called me from Heidi, which is 600 meters away, and was like, I can't walk anymore, you need to pick me up. So thank goodness we have phones.
Yes.
But I think we needed to convince her 5 years ago.
Probably would have happened easier back then. We'll see what happens. It's not a for sure thing yet. We'll see what happens.
I think it is.
I'll be back.
It is what it is.
Don't cry.
Wir können es nicht ändern. Was sollen wir machen? If you guys have any tips on how to convince her to stay in Germany, please let me know. Of course, we're not going to bring her back for the winter, hopefully.
Oh, but the spring is popping up here and it's not at home.
And now you're leaving.
And I take all the pictures of all the little flowers popping out of the ground.
March is a good month.
We won't see spring till May.
Should have stayed in Germany. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget, if you want to go check out BetterHelp, you can head to my link, betterhelp.com/lifeingermany for 10% off your first month of therapy. They'll help you if you don't have a mom here to help make you feel better, like me when she leaves me next week. But, you know. Vielen, vielen Dank. Thanks for watching. Und wie immer.
Bye, everyone.
Bis später.